Well, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show tonight. It's Bridgeman and Port Bear. Evening, boys.
Evening, Oxshire, evening, Bridgeman. Hope you're well, guys. Good night to be on. Happy Port Bear tonight.
Happy Port Bear. Can I just say a huge good evening to you guys? Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Still top of the league.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got statements concerning COVID vaccination passports, whatever you want to call them. We've got the game to talk about for Saturday, that classic, when we were playing against the second greatest team in the world. And then we'll get a view for the bridge, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Does that sound like a bit of a plan, Port, if that makes sense?
I'm on with a plan, Oxshire. I'm on with a plan.
The big announcement's coming maybe tomorrow.
I'm actually shaking with excitement, Oxshire.
Well, you find out. I hope you're not underwhelmed, but it's the biggest thing we've ever done. So, Bridgeman, so with you, let's hear the view from the bridge.
Well, good evening and everybody, and welcome to A View from the Bridge for Saturday's game there, Dundee versus Rangers on the 25th of September 2021, an SPFL Premiership game. Rangers went to Dens Park as the reigning champions and league leaders. Once again, our manager has emphasised the importance of this match and how we need to get the 3 points. Highly noticeable that Dundee didn't take the knee, as they say, before the kick-off, while Rangers did. I struggle to understand why Dundee selected Griffiths after he was charged by the police with kicking a smoking firework into the opposition fans in his last game versus St Johnstone. Really crazy. Shows just what kind of club Dundee are. The game, Dundee came out of the blocks fast and attacked from the start. Mullen ran 35 yards unchallenged to the edge of the box, where he had a shot. Unfortunately for us, it was blocked by Bassey and out for a throw-in. He ran right through our midfield and our defenders just backed off. What were we thinking of allowing this to happen? For the throw-in, which was taken 20 yards away from where the ball went out, allowed McMullen to take the ball and get to the byline and get a good low cross in, which bounced across our 6-yard line, and Griffiths managed to get ahead to the ball, which went just past the post. So 2 attacking moves from Dundee, and we didn't touch the ball at all, except for the block by Bassey. Wow, that told me anyway, this is going to be a very, very tough game for us. These guys aren't up for it. Dundee were playing with a 3-5-2 formation, which everybody knows I love that stuff, which could easily be changed to the standard 5-4-1 or 2 banks of 5 across the box when we got possession and attack. That's what happens generally. The Rangers shook themselves down a bit after that and started to get some good possession of the ball, and passing improved too. However, when we lost possession to Dundee, they were quickly on the offensive against us and kept making chances for themselves. Although we had lots more possession than them, we didn't look good. When they got possession, they threatened our goal. We got our breakthrough in the 16 minutes with a lovely high-tempo passing movement when Tav made a good pass into Morelos, who knocked a delightful first-time ball onto Aribo, and he controlled the ball and finished coolly, scoring a great goal with aplomb. 1-0 to the famous. I thought we were going to run all over the Dundee, but I was wrong. Wasn't I? Just so wrong. Although we continued to have good possession, we weren't making any good chances, but Dundee were. When Dundee got a free kick or throw-in, they created panic in our defence and our keeper saved us a few times. Griffiths managed to get 2 more good chances, a volley towards the near post and a left-foot shot from just inside the box, but both times our keeper got behind the efforts and made fine saves. Griffiths happened to limp off just before half-time, which was good. Rangers continued quietly, but did threaten a few times. Kamar Roof forced a save from their keeper, and Golson found his route to goal blocked by his own teammate Morelos, who smashed the ball against him. Half-time 0-0. Second half continued just like the first half, with Rangers having most possession, but Dundee proving dangerous on the break. In 55 minutes, a great left-foot shot from Lundstrom was goal-bound until their keeper made a smashing save. On 59 minutes, a long ball from Dundee caught Golson on the wrong side of McMullen, and he sped into the box to be met by the Rangers keeper, who was adjudged to have brought him down, and Dundee were awarded a penalty kick. After, I initially agreed it was a penalty, but after seeing it a few times, I think it was a bit of a dive. The ref says McMullen was caught by the leg of McLaughlin. He deemed a genuine effort to win the ball, which said it was only a yellow card. Great chance for Dundee to equalise. Cummings takes a pen and puts the ball down the middle, and the keeper dived to his left, but saved with his foot. He was then beaten to the rebound by the keeper, who punched it clear. I and every Bear breathed a great sigh of relief. Full time, 1-0 to Rangers. I think that Lundstrom was the best player in the park once again, and I thought he was outstanding. McLaughlin did well saving the penalty and saved their blushes a few times. I'm unsure if it was a penalty. After viewing it a few times, I thought it was a dive. He's also made a few other good saves throughout the game. Dundee made some decent chances. Morelos was isolated up front, but gathered the ball in well, and a great pass to Rebo for the goal. Rebo had a good game and received a great pass from Morelos inside the box, steadied himself and placed the ball well into the far post. Both Balogun and Vasi played well and were adventurous when attacking. Kamara was okay when he were attacking, but nowhere when we were defending. Both Golson and Tav were very poor compared to how they played in the last season. Both Hadji and Roof couldn't get into the game at all. Definitely didn't play that well. Defensively didn't play that well. We played most of the game with a very slow tempo. Not a great watch, but we did get the 3 points we needed. And Brisbane here says Dundee were the most attack-minded team we have played against in the league so far this season. Player by player, McLaughlin 6, Tavernier 5, Golson 5, Balogun 6, Vasi 6, Kamara 5, Lundstrom 7, Aribo 6, Hadji 5, Morelos 6, and Roof 5. My man of the match, Lundstrom. Match stats: possession 31% Dundee, 69% Rangers. Total shots 14 Dundee, 19 Rangers. Shots on target 6 Dundee, 3 Rangers. Corners 5 for Dundee, 9 for Rangers. Fouls 9 for Dundee and 8 for Rangers. And this is the end of A View from a Bridge.
View from the bridge. Can't take anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take anymore.
Thanks for that, Bridge. Comments, Port?
I think it was a fair assessment on the team next year. I've got to be really honest with you. I don't think it was a dive. I think the guy obviously played for it. But the mistakes before the guy gets into the box next year for the penalty. And one of the reasons he stays on the park is because I think he'd been a sending off. I've got
him live on the telly. Thought, my goodness gracious, that is a penalty. But when I ran again, I thought he planted his foot into McLaughlin's leg, and dived over it. That's what I thought. It's only my opinion, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you, just out of curiosity, Bridge, I marked him for myself, just unusually to see how we. And by the way, we're pretty similar this weekend, slightly different than man of the match. I gave John McLaughlin 8. I gave him 8. I'd give him 7, but I gave him a point extra for the penalty save, for his job.
Mm-hmm.
Tav 4, Connor 3 out of 10. Leon Balogun 6.5. Kelvin Bassey 6. John Lundstrom 7. Kamara 5. Joe Aribo 6.5. He got one extra mark for the goal. Only had 5.5. Got an extra mark for the goal. Hadji 5.5. Alfie 6.5, and he got that was an extra 0.5 for his setup for the goal. And Roof 4. I thought that Tav, Connor, and Roof were atrocious, mate. Absolutely atrocious. I know I don't like saying it, but that's the way I've seen it. Port Bear.
Boxshare, we say it how it is, and I think that's a absolute outstanding assessment on how I seen the game. Yet again, Tav and Goldson. That gap, Boxshare, the gap between them two at times, from the fullback to the centre back. That's why that guy ran through that channel and getting where his penalty was. I think they're too far apart. I don't think you're talking. I'm going to be honest, Boxshare. This is probably one of the worst performances I've seen we were back for. It looked like 4 guys were pulled out of, a football team and stuck together. And, you guys want to play for us this week. That's how I felt our defence was. But it wasn't just them, mate. It wasn't just them. I found pretty much 80% of the players looked that way. I think there's I'm not a problem. I think there's a major problem with having Roof and Morelos in the same team. It says they're not working. Doesn't work at all, mate. No. Doesn't work. No, I totally agree with you. In midfield, I thought Lundstrom, I think this is a role he's learning next year. I didn't see him playing this role in Sheffield United. He was always sort of kept away from the goal and going joining in. But he filled in the Davis role, and I thought he done well, mate. I thought he done well. It's probably one of the better games I've seen him in playing for Rangers. But to get out of Dundee, mate, 1-0, still top of the league. I'll take that, mate. I'll absolutely take that. But we got out of Dodge, mate.
I think
very lucky.
Albert after the match says he's always saying that he's not caring. Does he care about performance?
No,
it's all about the results, and we get that, Bridgeman. But we've got to critique the game and be honest about the performance. Yeah,
absolutely, pal. Absolutely, 100%. Now, if you can look back all the things I've said about it, it's the poorest score I've ever given Goldson. I think Goldson's been the staff man in our team for a long time. I mean that sincerely, simply because he's a half-decent centre-half. But he wasn't a half-decent centre-half as Harvey. And Port Bell's absolutely right. But between him and Tav, a waste of space. They were an absolute waste of space. If I had been the manager, and I've not been trying to say this, I would have took the two of them up at half-time. I would have took them up and put Patterson on and moved people about. Connor Goldson was not concentrating 100%.
Port Bear in the first half that he got a shout for Gordon McLaughlin, but he did it back. Everything was lackadaisical, slow, loose. Everything was loose and taking chances. Ever in doubt, put it up with Parker, put it out. That's the first job as a centre half. I
agree, mate. I agree. I heard yourself making a point the other night. In regards to, we need to everything again. Yet was so lack of pace. There was no tempo on the ball, and again, like we all touched on this show 1,000 times. In the first 10-15 minutes, we had a feeling how this game was going to go. Dundee came flying out the trap socks here, and we didn't seem, like I think I was almost shocked by it. But all I'll say here is thank God for Agent Cummins for that penalty. That's all I'll say in that matter. But in the meantime, we're 16 points. We've got we're one clear of Hearts, and we're 7 ahead of Celtic with a game in hand. So,
where are you getting this information? Phase 7 clear of Celtic, are we?
Yeah, we're 7 clear of Celtic, but they've got a game in hand yet.
No,
Drew,
we're 6 clear of Celtic.
Sorry?
Drew, if you're going to come on here, please, and this is the last time I'm going to say this to you, please do your homework, yeah?
One clear of Hearts and
pal,
7.
Got a point at it.
All right.
So we're 6 points.
You can tell when I done my report then, can you?
please do your homework, because
I did the day before.
You're still FAV for that major clanger on Facebook. I've been speaking to everybody.
No chance.
I've been speaking to everybody as an admin, and your name's the one that keeps getting brought up.
Good
You're
deal.
still EVV for that clanger.
Well, I was speaking to our skipper's lawyer about this because
Skipper's
I'm not
lawyer's
having
one
that.
of the ones
Lawyer.
that pushed up
Big
you in.
singer.
I'm not having that. The person who involved needs to grow a set and step up because I know it's not me.
You're still EVV.
Okay, I'll take that.
EVV. Mm-hmm.
Port Bear, don't you be fighting in this
GB even liked it. He's even worse. He liked it. Right,
That's,
okay.
he always likes saying stuff.
Aye,
Boom,
that's how he
boom.
does it, is it? Terry said it was definitely you because the grammar was appalling.
I've not got bad grammar.
That's what Terry said. I'm only don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Right, right, okay. Right, okay. So how many points have we? How's the league table sitting? Are you going to have another go at it?
No,
Right.
no, I'm not.
Hibs
I'm in a
are
huff.
second.
I'm in a huff.
Hibs are second, yeah. Hibs are second. No Hearts. Hibs. Yeah, on the same points. Then it's Murrow, then Dundee United, and if Aberdeen would have held on against St Mirren and won the game, they would have been sitting sixth in a certain team, the greatest team the world's ever seen, with the most loyal support the world's ever seen. Don't know where they were yesterday again.
Wow.
They're sitting
That
9
something
points.
else.
9 points worse half than they were last year. But enough about them. Let's get the phone lines open and let's see what the punters have got to say about a controversial view for the Bridge because he didn't hold back in his marking there. Well done, Bridge. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Port Bear, we can't come on here and critique that and say it was a great performance. We just couldn't, could we? I think his bottom lip must be on the mute button, Bridge, man.
I think he's throwing the dummies out. I'll tell you, pal.
Aye,
I'll tell you that. No,
He's back in.
He's back with us. His wife's gave him a cuddle. He's feeling better now.
Aye. Thanks, Claire. Thanks very much, Claire.
She gives lovely cuddles out this Claire.
See it how you see it, in my opinion, we got out of Dundee, very lucky, mate. I'm going to be really honest. The amount of chances they created, like you always keep saying, I think Mr. Beale has to phone that number up this year because that's probably the worst performance. We've not been great this season, but in my opinion, that's the worst performance I've seen of a Rangers team, probably under Steven Gerrard. I've never seen a team create so many chances against us, and that's what really worried me, mate. And some of them were really good chances, pal.
They were slicing through when they got the ball with their defence started to play out. They were using back to the 3-5-2, and they were absolutely smashing through the midfield. And they didn't need to worry about the right or the left because Golson, he managed to header a few away. But really and truly, every time a high ball came near him, he was very nervous.
Listen, we've also got to be fair. Everybody has a bad game. Yeah, it happens.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe it just happens to a couple of players. Obviously, some people might think they've not been great for a while, but that's their opinion. We're critiquing that game, and for me, I gave Connor Golson 3 out of 10, mate. I mean, geez, he's a 6 or a 7 most weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the odd game he gets up there is an 8, mate, because he's pretty consistent. But I thought he was appalling on Saturday, in my opinion.
It was just dreadful. It was the whole team. Overall, that performance, I thought was probably the worst I've seen in 3 years. And it was really dreadful. And your tongue in your sort of hand in your heart, trying to hold yourself back, Just terrible. I was so relieved when the final whistle went. I wonder if they scored that goal and thought to themselves, are we just going to sit back here and absorb them? They'll not score against us.
Listen, when we got that goal, Bridge, as you said, on 16 minutes, mate, I thought, we'll go and pick them off, get another one,
me
and
too.
then this would have been a comfortable win.
My exact words, mate, were, here we go, cricket score. That's what I said to the boys. I said, right, cricket score. It was a hammer and tongs at Dens Park. It wasn't a great performance. Gerrard probably would been shouting from the rooftops about the result last year and the performance. But there was one moment of quality in the game. like you touched on earlier on. James, it all started with Lundstrom, may I add. He fires the ball to Tavernier, drove into the ball from the left, who finds Alfredo, drives it to his feet, and that flick round the corner, mate, for Rebo's finish was outstanding, mate. Yeah. That was the one moment of magic. So when that goal went in, I thought, right, cricket score, we could go into a right few of them. But then Dundee just seemed to just have chance after chance, just carving through us, mate. In my opinion, we have a real problem next year. See the guy that's playing the right side, your midfield three, he's not filling that gap between the right full-back and the right centre-back, because it's like Moses parting the Red Sea. There's a massive, massive gap in there, and we're too easy. And if Tav's even caught further forward, again, there's an even bigger gap. I think we've got a real problem, mate, in my players' positional sense. I don't know if he's agree, but I think our defenders are far too far apart at times, mate.
Well, I think that we don't sniff danger, Bridge, and we don't know. We're always trying to attack, which I'm not criticised for, but when you're 30 yards for your own goal, and like Tav set himself a couple of times, try to steal the ball off the guy and break away and force an attack, he's 30 yards for his own goal. His first thing is defend.
Absolutely. I think both Dundee's fullbacks had excellent games against us, and how it comes like that, I've got no idea. But they did. They had excellent games against us, to be honest, but from an attacking perspective. And you're right. The left, the guy on the left there, I mean, seriously, sometimes he took a piss out of Tav. Waltzed past him, inside or out, waltzed past him. And Tav didn't even answer. And all that did was open it up to more. And the midfielders who were there, and I'm speaking about Kamara and people like that, they weren't getting back. They just weren't getting back. When the ball was with their midfield, they could slice right through our midfield. And Lundstrom was the only one that was getting tackles. And in my opinion, admittedly, he was playing as a defensive anyway, but he was the only one that was getting a chance he could break them up. Other than that, they were finding that wee McMullen guy, and he had a smashing game against their centre halves. Smashing game.
All right, let's hear what the manager's got to say. Get yourself to a meeting. Let's hear from Stevie G.
Stephen, how pleased are you with the batting qualities of your side today to get those 3 points?
Yeah, listen, we knew what type of game to expect when we came here. I think there's certain SPFL games coming away from home where you've got to hustle, you've got to grind, you've got to fight, you've got to do the ugly bits. And I thought to a man today, we were really honest. I thought we tried to defend as well as we can. Look, there's still bones we can pick out of it in possession, out of possession. At times at the end we could have went and killed the game with a bit more quality, but we've come here for 3 points. I think the players have showed hunger for 3 points, and no one will remember how we got them in time. And I've also managed to, keep people fresh for Thursday night. So a lot of positives to take away today.
That said, what a moment of quality to win the game from Joe, and a brilliant ball from Alfredo.
Fantastic assist. It is stuff that we work on a lot in terms of patterns. We like Buff to come down and overload. We scored a very similar goal away at Ross County, so credit to the lads carrying that out. I just felt at the end as well we could have went and got that second, because if you don't get the second, I've mentioned it many a times in this league, long throw-ins are coming into your box, long balls, second balls. We've obviously needed John to bail us out because we haven't defended one situation really well. We've left ourselves 2v2 at the back, so a lot to work on, which is good. Keep the players grounded and stuff, but it's a big 3 points, it's a big win, and we're 3 points closer to where we want to be.
You mentioned John there, big character for him to dust himself down and make the stop.
He was the best player on the pitch by a mile, and I've been almost just smiling in disbelief, really. Some of the reaction on the outside. I obviously keep an eye on everything inside and outside. John's a fantastic player. He showed us quality in the last 3 games. He's been finding his feet. It does take time to get up to speed, to work out how people play. He's an absolute powerhouse today, and he was man of the match and the best player on the pitch by a mile.
Janino as well, now really coming in and impacting the squad, made some, a big impact at the end there.
Yeah, listen, we've only gave him the time really to show his moments, but there's a start on the horizon for him. Hopefully it'll be in the next couple of games. If not, we'll get him a start pretty soon, because he's an exciting player. He's powerful, he can combine, he can fight, he can hustle, and listen, he'll make us better. But you've got to remember the kid hasn't had a pre-season, so we need patience with him as well.
How much do you guys look forward to this great test you've got on Thursday night now?
Yeah, look, we love it. We love playing in Europe. It's the reason why we fought so hard over the years to be at this level. We're disappointed not to qualify against Malmo, but we had to move on pretty quickly from that. We did. And now it's about trying to get off the mark in the group and trying to get maximum points. If we do, we've recovered our bad start against Lyon, but it'll be a tough game. But the lads will be ready, and we're always excited in Europe to go anyway and try and get a result for our fans.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
He's always very honest, but unusually for a Stevie G interview, there's a couple of bits I could have a disagreement with. Bridge?
Well, I could only disagree with his whole interview when he said that the goalkeeper's best man in the park, because I disagree with that. But however, who am I to disagree with him right enough? He's smashing. You listen to him, and sometimes you listen to him and you think, some parts of that were slightly different from what I saw. However, manager's a manager. He thinks he knows what he's doing. He's at the pitch level, and he sees the guy who's been training. So I take my hat off to him. That's all I do. Take my hat off to him.
But bear with that performance, Connor Goldston will go for a gallon of petrol, wouldn't he?
At the moment, mate, if you're lucky. I think that's probably the worst performance I've seen Connor playing, mate. Often shouting and bawling at everybody else around him. And what that usually tells you is he knows he's made the mistake, or he knows he's made the error, or he's not playing at the level. And you'll always try and blame what's around you. He done it last week as well. He had a few goals at Tav as well in the last game we played. So, mate, there's something, again, we've all spoke about it, we still can't put our finger on it, but we're not firing on all cylinders up here. But there's one main point, mate, we're Tapia League. And if that's how we're playing at Tapia League, what does it say for the rest of Scottish football, number one? And then, God help the teams when we start finding the same form, or similar form to we had last year, mate.
Who did you give man of the match to, mate?
Lundstrom. John Lundstrom, yeah. I think he's in Deverox here. He was trying to plug the gaps, do the sort of Davis role, and then I loved his run from the left-hand side when he cut along the box and cut it back for Sakala. In my opinion, Sakala took it first time. But at times, Oxford, we're still trying this tippy-tappy football, and we get to the box, it's like they're scared to have a shot. I mean, Sakala took that first time. There was other chances we had where I felt, if they had it first time, you stand a chance. It could have taken a wee ricochet and went in. But we need to start shooting up. People need to start being not slightly, but they need to be more brave on the ball. And what I mean by that is be positive, go and dribble, have a pop. Don't be worried if fans are going to jump your back. At least you've had a go. That's a big problem for me, mate. We're still playing too much of this tippy-tappy stuff. We know end product.
I phoned Fox today and he was watching the game back. You could tell by the noises he was making at the time, Right, but it's a hard watch, and you can throw a lot of the ball, but you've not got the intensity of the match live, Bridgeman. Sometimes you can watch it differently, but I spoke to him and he said, nah, it's just the same as when I watched it on Saturday,
That's the truth when it comes like that, and everybody knows. I dare say you guys like to watch the English Premiership because you've not got any great favourites like you've got with Rangers, and sometimes you can see the faults of the great teams. And Man United, for instance, who should be head and shoulders above everybody in that league, for some reason or other, spent all that money and they can't get it right, and they can't get a proper manager, because I don't think that lad's a good manager. But there you go, differences of opinion, and I love the English Premiership. I love English football. I've always loved English football. I've really enjoyed my time in there, particularly playing football. And superb. Loved it.
Right, okay, but come on, give us a phone at 0141 356 1972. Phone in. It's a phone in show, Port Bear.
Aye, mate, yeah. Love to hear your thoughts, guys, over the weekend's game. There's a lot to talk about. Let's tell us how you felt the team are playing. If you get any opinions on what's going on, any players that stood out for you, any players that, you think are trying or not trying. There's loads to talk about, guys. Come on in.
Aye. I know. I'll still open a lot of debate about Tav, Connor, with his contract situation. People might read a lot into it. Some people might not think there's anything in it. It's all about opinions. The Tav and Patterson debate, I don't think Tav's 300 game will be one he'll remember fondly, Bridgeman.
I think he'll be trying to forget it as soon as the whistle went there. It was pretty poor for him. I think he's very comfortable from the halfway line up to the goal going forward in the attacking half. But there's some times he doesn't even get that right. But the truth of the matter is, he is not great as a defender, although sometimes he can get back because he's got a wee bit of pace, really good athlete. But on Saturday there, I'm sorry, he couldn't get back. No matter what was happening, he couldn't get back. Made very few attempts to tackle. Shall we say, roped out the game. The wee guy dribbled round about him. I think that was bad for Tav. Didn't do him any good. And if you think about what Oxford gave him point-wise, very, very poor. Very poor. So Oxford is a Tav favourite. He likes Tav.
I want to say I'm nose. I can see the flaws. I've no, but Foxy boy's got a big poster of Tav above his bed. I'm not that bad. I think Tav's he's still the best right back will go to the club at the moment. There's always a tipping point where that changes, Port.
100%, mate. And is that one of the problems? Does he know young Nathan's breathing down his neck? And with performances like that, Oxford, Nathan Patterson should be thinking to himself, right?
But Nathan wasn't great on Wednesday neither, was he?
No, I agree with that, mate. But he's still breathing down the captain's neck. And I think this is what Nathan needs. Maybe a chance, Oxford, where he can get another 90 minutes under his belt. I still don't think Nathan's fit, Oxford, and I think if he was fitter, I think you would see a difference in his performances, because he does, ball up and down that right side, no problem. We've seen it with his first game in Europe, etc. So I think is Tav looking over his shoulder, mate? Is he feeling pressure for the first time? Because that's usually been his pace. I don't know, mate. This is an observation. That position's been his. So is Tav feeling pressure?
Good point. I wouldn't like to think so. I'm going to say Bridge, mate. Maybe the two of them just to coin a phrase, a well-known phrase of yours, Bridge. Maybe the two of them just did shockers.
Well, they're just the shockers. Even the Pat Withering said they both of them had a shocker. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that there's something more serious with Goldson, and I think it's to do with his contract. I think it's beginning to hit him. He's maybe at a crossroads there in his mind. By the look of that, his mind's taken over. And when he's on the football pitch, starting for the weekend there, he's been at a crossroads there. He's poor, very, very poor judgment. His coordination with the ball, eyeball, wasn't there. That ball he was losing the ball in mid-air, for sure. Losing it. So I don't know whether it's a concentration thing. It might be...
Or he just did a shocker.
That's it. He might have just had a shocker. But he got a shocker anyway.
Talking about people who never have shockers, we've been joined with Alex. How are we doing, Alex?
Good evening, Oxford, Bridgeman, Pop Bear. Just keep all right, lads.
How are we doing, mate?
You're
all right now. I'm fine. Thank you.
I've got you 4 gallon of petrol, mate. 100 quid.
That's a good deal. Anyway, what do you call it? Going to Saturday's game there. I'm glad just after it I don't come on here for an interview and that. Probably wait a couple of days and then you kind of ration it down yourself. I've watched Rangers all these years, but I'm going to tell you something. That was absolutely dire. The only 3 positives came out of that was the result for the 3 points. The goal was quality. And I would say, I thought Lundstrom had a fantastic game with the goalkeeper. That's only 2 pass marks in that team.
I don't disagree with you. I don't know. Bridgman gave his marks. I've got what I had. John McLaughlin 8, 1 extra point for the penalty save. Tab 4, Connor 3. I gave Lewin Balogun 6.5 because I thought he was one of our better players. Calvin Bassey, Industrious was the great 6. John Lundstrom 7. Kamara 5. Joe Aribo 6.5. He got an extra 1 for the goal. Hadji 5.5. Alfie 6.5, and he got an extra 6, and he got an extra half mark for setting up the goal. And Roof 4. So we're no far away, Alex.
No, that's fair. That's fair comment. Golston, I stood by him all last year, voted him as a player of the year, but that guy isn't half the player. And seeing you start blaming people around about you, that's when you know your performance is below par. Him and Tavin here, honest, I don't know what's going through the two of them. They weren't at the races. That wee McMullen, they run in the first couple of minutes, 30 odd years right down there, right through the centre, and you're looking. And Billuck, Big Bassey managed to clear it. But the performance, I love Stevie Gerrard, but sometimes there with that interview there's 2 or 3 things I don't agree with that. High intensity to play football, and that team weren't at the races. I don't know what was going on with Golston, if it's contracts or what it is, but he ain't the same player. And for up front, I told you during the week there that Morelos and Roof can't play together, and that's proven, I know. So there's something for wrong with it. This is a team that walked that league last year. It's the same players we've got, and there's something definitely. No, it's not working. It's certainly not working.
Can I ask you a question, Alex, before Hogstern moves it on? What do you think the position is now in the league this season as to where we were last season after 7 games?
I think we're better off. I think
we're 3 points behind.
Point.
We're 3
Sorry?
points. We're 3 points behind.
Yeah,
3 points behind.
So last year was a wonderful year for us, truth be told. All the way through. And we're only 3 points off it. So, I know. Don't get me wrong, it was a shocking game Saturday.
I know the result. I know the result sending Dundee to get the 3 points in that, but we've got to tell her how we see it truthfully here. If you're up there watching that,
absolutely.
That was absolutely dire. That's one of the worst Rangers performances I've seen under Stevie Gerrard. And we're all walking out that grunt. Everybody's looking at one another. I'll tell you what it better. It was a sideshow. Because we scored there in 16 minutes. But see, for the first 30 minutes, it was just a sideshow to that Lee Griffiths. That took everything away from the game. What he got, right? Whether he deserved it, he didn't deserve it. That's what it was about. Then went on to the game itself, and it was absolutely dire. There's no positives out of that, apart from getting the 3 points. And as I say, Big Lumsden put a game on. I've seen him come to 4. And as I say, the goalkeeper, he gave it for making the penalty save. But that was it. That's me talking from my heart about Rangers. That's just unacceptable.
Very honest, mate. Very honest. I'm not going to criticise somebody for being honest. You could use 2 on the panel could take a leaf out of Alex, but be honest.
What?
Poor bear.
Can I ask you, Alex included, Bridgman, but Oxshire, arguably, you touched on there, Alex. We romped that league last night. In my opinion, the teams that I watched played better, I feel like. So going on form and what I watched this season, and we're still top the league, bear in mind. Is this league even a worse league than it was last year? And on it is. If that's the case, just as well, by the way, it's a worse league than last year, because it may be a different situation if we were still playing the way we are. What do you think of that?
I don't see if we can criticise the rest of the league. I think we've just got to look after ourselves, Bridgman.
Yeah, based on what you were saying, Port Bear, I think that please bear in mind that probably by November time, I know that we thought we were going to have won the league, if you follow what I mean. But as it proved, we went on and thundered it. But before them across the city fell apart, I was thinking it was quite a tight league at the time. And then by the time the new year and all that was finished, we were starting to pick it up and go. And then the COVID thing hit for them and so on and so forth. So unless I'm wrong and my dates are wrong, I think it was the first half of last season was better than the first half of this season.
After 7 games, the two teams were sitting on 19 points each.
What are they on now? 10?
The greatest team the world's ever seen has got 10 points, mate.
Yeah. Last season was better for a lot of teams up until a certain point in the season. Then they went away. We just drove on to the end, didn't we? We just kept going.
I don't know if about the league, mate. There's some teams in there, particularly the two Edinburgh teams, who look as if they've built some decent squads. But we've got to look after ourselves. Of course. We've just got to look after ourselves, mate.
Aye, and we have done that last year in my Tappy League. It seems to be the challenge this year. It's probably going to be the two Edinburgh clubs. If that's the way the other team across the other side are going to continue to play. And I'm happy about that. But I still think we need to up our level next year. I still, like you've always touched on, I think we've got another few years to go up. And I still believe someone's going to get a batter in the corner. It's just, again, I think with the amount of changes at the weekend and stuff again, and then like say Cunha getting a chance, etc. I think somebody's going to get a scalping in the corner, mate. And I think that's the thing it's going to trigger. As I keep saying this every week, the next game is going to be a trigger. The cup game is going to be a trigger. But we'll see what Europe brings during the week, mate. But we definitely need to up our season, because if we play that against the team in Europe on Thursday, this is scary. This is stuff of nightmares, mate.
Do you think that the players, our players, have got it in their mind that a huge game coming up in a European game? Well, let's just take it easy, if you follow what I mean, with themselves.
Well, if that is the case, mate, we'll get real serious problems with our management. It needs to be sorted.
Absolutely.
I hope we're not underestimating these teams in the league, because your lot is going to run out sooner or later. And I'll be quite truthful, I know we've got that European tie, and we're going to get in there and hopefully we turn the performance. But see, if we pull that against Hibs will look us up here. That's just unacceptable the way they're running through the centre of the defence. I mean, I don't know, as I say, with big Connor Goldson. Last year, man, he was unbelievable. We're losing, we're getting free kicks away, we're pulling guys down the full lot. The team just don't seem to be in the one wavelength now. And that's certainly at half time. I would no scruples about it, no matter what we think of Tavernier and Goldson. I'd have took them off. Seriously, I'd have took the two of them off. They weren't performing. And I don't know if it's bringing the team right down to the level now, but there's something serious wrong now. And we keep saying every week, the next game we'll be all right. It's getting an issue now. And you've got to be truthful about it, the way the team's playing now. We're not playing at all anywhere near. And that's it.
You're spot on, mate. I can't disagree with anything like that. I mean, it'd be unusual to make two substitutions tactical at half time, but they were appalling. And hopefully they know they were appalling, and it was just the two of them happened to have a bad game at the same time, and there's nothing underlying, Alex.
Sir, do you, honestly, I'll put them wrong here, but do you think they do think that they're above it now? They're too big for the club? Seriously? Because that's how I'm looking at it now.
That's
I hope I'm wrong.
That's what you say, that something's underlying. I'll tell you now, they'll never play for a bigger club as Rangers, they too. They might
never in their lives.
They'll never play. There's a difference, yeah.
The loyalty there can only go so far with Stevie Gerrard, with the two of them. And you've got a young boy there chatting at the bit. And whether we know Tavernier's a far better fullback, but the point is that boy's breathing down his neck now. And you would think Tavernier would try to go to another level now because of the competition. But I don't know. I came out the ground and I was like, I couldn't believe, okay, we got the result, which is fair enough, and you've won up there, but you're travelling down in that and you're looking at one another and going, that was a half-decent team. They played not too bad, Dundee. The only good thing about them, they can't score a goal. If they could take their chances, they'd probably win that game.
I don't disagree with that, mate. Remember, they missed a penalty as well.
Aye, thank God for Jason Cummins, but the point is, you see the penalty and all, where's Goldstein at the penalty? Honest to Christ. So there you go.
I think Alex Lewis has got something in on Goldstein. By the way, I agree with him. I agree with you, Alex. It was just shocking. Just shocking.
The guy, I hate running the team doing that. And as I say, I voted that guy player of the year. But we've got to be honest here. He's nowhere near, whether it's the contract or what's going on, but there's something just no hitting it off there. I mean, you start blaming the defence and run about. This is not the first week. He was at it last week at Motherwell as well. So you start blaming teammates. That tells you something and all.
You know, he's been the rock for Gerrard and the rest of the team. And I think he's been absolutely wonderful for Rangers. And I've said it quite openly. He will never, just as words that you guys said, he will never, ever play for a team as big as Rangers. Never. He might go and get more money. Never play for a team like Rangers, ever. And I think Olsen is going to make a sad mistake. He goes down there and ends up in the Championship or League One down in England. He might get more money.
I think he could go to potentially, if the whispers are true, he could be going to a bigger club, a bigger league, not a bigger club. And whether he'll play or no, at the moment, I would doubt it very much.
I doubt very much if he's ever going to get a game in the English Premier League. I doubt it. But if that's what you're talking about, I can't see him getting a game in there again, ever.
Yes, Paul.
Oh, sure. Does any guys think that this team not the team, right? Certain players think the job was done last year when, they won the league, etc. That's it. You think that's
if I thought
resting on laurels?
If I thought that for a minute, mate, you'd be as well telling the whole coaching staff and Stevie G to clear their desk. Yeah, I mean,
I get what you mean.
And they're accountable for some of this as well. And we've been laughing and joking, and we've been saying, get Michael Beale to phone up, we'll put him right, Alex. We're joking, but it's tongue in cheek. We're watching that.
Absolutely.
It didn't seem a page 2, Oxford, didn't you know? Sorry, mate.
Port Bear, he's Alex.
Sorry,
Alex. Right, I'll write it down for you. Port Bear. Right.
You're right. If that's the case that they're getting with that kind of attitude, this is the most important one, right? It's back to win championships. That's when we've won the championship there 55, but that's gone now. And good luck to the guys that saw done it at Legend. This is the right one. This is when champions that can win a back-to-back championship. So they shouldn't need to have any motivation. They should begin out there. This is the same players we've got. We've brought 2 or 3 other quality guys in. The way it is now, and you're looking at the team and you're thinking, that's no the same Rangers team as last year. And that's basically the bottom line. Now, the management staff, coaching staff, they can come on and tell us this and tell us that, what's happening at the training. We're only seeing what's happening out in the park. And I'll tell you, it was like night and day. If that McMullen went through in the first minute to run about 30 years, see if that ball goes in right away. That's us a goal done within, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That's just it's unacceptable for Rangers Football Club.
Put Bear in, you come.
Aye, I was saying, mate, sorry about that. It was basically, does Michael Page have a page 2? It seems to be, you can go to the well with this formation, this style of football, make this brand of football, which is, at times we've all been, Michael Beale said high praise for yourself. This whole shows back Michael Beale, the training staff, Steven Gerrard, for the manner we play, and he's transformed Rangers Football Club after the managers we had. But it is getting to look like now to me, is there a page 2? What next? Right, you've done that did work, but people know what we do now. People have worked us out. It's as simple as that, Oxshire. And I'd like to think this guy's well thought of and as a coach in Europe and has aspirations to be a manager. He has to have more than that in his locker, mate. And that's just only my opinion. But I do respect Michael Beale, but he has to have a page 2, a page 3, page 4, mate, because...
When you're watching that on Saturday, mate, he's actually stuck on page 3.
Aye.
You know,
You get what I mean, though, don't you? It's like
I
he
do,
keeps
I
going
do
to
know
there with
you
the
do. I
same
think you get
formation.
what I mean as well.
Aye.
Hypothetically, see if we'd have come back for that game there and we'd have drew or get beat, what would that have been like? I mean, that's us, we go to 3 points and I'm on here moaning. Could you imagine we get beat? Oh. And you couldn't fault it because Dundee were right in the game. That's the thing about it.
We would have deserved it, Alex, wouldn't we have? We would have deserved getting beat. Let's be honest, we would have. If on chances created and shots on target, we would have deserved to get beat.
We've definitely got to roll the sleeves up, man, and get back to playing the football now we can do. But I
mean, listen, we're critiquing the games, Bridgeman, and it could just be a confidence thing that we need to turn that switch and we'll take off. And look, we've been saying it for a few weeks now, we keep saying it, but to me, we do look at a team that's void of confidence, mate.
Absolutely. And you know, we've been saying it, you're right, we've been saying these things, but the confidence thing is a lot to do with internal as well, inside yourself. I've been saying it and I'll say it again. Every single one of the players that played there in the weekend there are all quality players in their own right. They are all good players in their own right. The problem that they've got, from a confidence perspective, is there's only a few of them have got full confidence. The others are trying. They're trying themselves to death at times, you know. You need to be able to do what they need to do, lift your head up and go and do it. Be proud, you're a bear. That's what I say.
All right, we've been joined by William. How we doing, William?
Hello.
How we doing,
Good
mate?
evening.
You keep all right, mate?
I'm fine, thank you. Hope you're all well. Doing a great job. It's a great show.
Mate. Good to hear
you
again.
I was listening last week. I listen to the show every night. If I miss a wee bit, I'll listen to it the next day. I always listen to more or less everything. I was listening last week when Big Haitley came on, and he was saying about surrounding yourself with intelligent people.
I try, mate, but this is the best I can get. The rest were never.
I thought, well, if you're looking for intelligent people, it's worth a phone call. Unfortunately, my wife's not available, so you've just got me. I'm trying to make myself laugh after watching that game the other day.
It was poor, Willie. No doubt about it. It was just poor.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was so bad. Couldn't believe it. I think that I'm worried that what our team has got now is the Leicester City syndrome. You know, when they won the Premier League in England, and I think a lot of their players thought, that's me, I'm going to get my big move to Arsenal. I'm going to get a big money move to the English, you know, a big club. And I think we've got 2 or 3 players that's what they thought. They thought they were, because of what we did last season, we did that well, we broke all these records, we ran away with the league, we stopped to 10, all this. They're going to get a big move, you know, Kamara, Goldson, Morelos. And I think that some of them, you know, obviously are looking for the big money. I must have thought, that's it, we're at the peak. Look at what we've done, everybody's talking about it. All the world, they're talking about what we've done here. We're going to get a big move. And I think they're maybe a wee bit upset they didn't get their move, didn't get their big move. And I think if we play like that against the Czechoslovakian team or against Hibs, we're not going to win any of those 2 games. So it was a shocking performance.
I think you're very honest, Willie, and very kind as well, talking about the performance. Port Bear, then Bridgeman.
Wally, amazing assessment, mate. Absolute amazing assessment. I did sort of touch on it earlier on by saying, are these guys resting on their laurels because the super season they had last year? Is that like what you said there? It's a great, you know, point. As some of their heads been turned, thinking they were going to get this big super move to the Premier League, so they gave it everything last year, and then obviously this year, to me it looks like somebody's, and I'm going to be very harsh here. To me, in that game, it looked like a team that somebody walked in a park and went, any 11 guys wanting to play football. That's how bad I felt that looked. So disjointed, no organisation. the only speaking we saw was them shouting at each other for frustration. And like Oxtear pointed, McLaughlin, Lundstrom, probably only two that you give pass marks to. But no, that's a good point, mate. Maybe a few of them think they're big time Charlies and have to be brought back down to earth a bit of game, mate. Yep, totally agree with you.
Before we bring in Bridge, Alex, see when you're speaking, can you put your phone on mute? We're getting some feedback through your phone, mate.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault, mate. It's just the way the system works. And you come, Bridge.
To say I agree with everything that was said there by Willie and of course Portbear. He came up and followed that, and everything you have said is absolutely bang on. And even if it's no bang on, it's no far off. And we're all going to say what we want to say about it. Personally speaking, now I think that shall we say the critique for me is complete. I don't want to say too much more about how poor our team were. I want to keep that to myself now. Take it to my grave.
Don't say that, mate.
No, but you know what I mean. Seriously. I
I'll put you for at least 6 months longer, mate. Don't behave yourself.
But I just think that our players got a huge game coming up. Once again, a massive European tie coming up away from home. And I'm hoping that somewhere along the line, the manager and the coaches know what was happening at the weekend there, and whatever needs rectifying will be rectified. There may not be anything in their eyes needs rectifying. They may be happy. Anyway, that's the team they put out. It might not be the same team they put out Thursday.
I think there's a public persona and a private persona. They're two different things, you know.
Yes, indeed, pal.
But I've seen you always dapper when I chapped your door when you were wearing in the house. I couldn't believe it, but that's two different things, isn't it?
I'm very expensive in the house.
I know, mate. Right, Wally. I think from memory, you were a ref. Am I right?
That's correct. Aye.
Right.
Last time I was in.
Was it a
Last
penalty?
time I came on, it was just after we lost to St Johnstone in the cup.
Right. Was it a penalty for you on Saturday? Would you give that?
Well, I'll tell you, he threw himself to the ground. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
The attacker, he threw himself to the ground.
My thoughts exactly.
Mm-hmm. And
yes or no?
I have to say on TV, in a televised game in the Premier League, you're always going to get a penalty for that.
Right.
I think we all know that. I think we all know. I think I would have. To be honest, I would have.
I wouldn't, because it was against the Rangers. But that's just me being
well,
biased.
Aye. Well, if Bobby can do it, well, you know. But I gave a couple up the other end, you know.
Aye, no bother, mate. I like your style. Right, we're going to have a tune, so get yourself a mute, because we're going to have a tune.
And I've sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I've sailed around the stormy capes and heard the 40s roar. I've flied the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest for me. It's the blue sea of Ibrox. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue sea of Ibrox, and it's part of every Rangers player's dream. And no more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more I'll ever roam, no more I'll have the urge again. I'm back where I belong. 3 o'clock on Saturday, I'll join the mighty throng, with flags and banners all around. I'm proud to sing this song. It's the blue sea of Ibrox, and it's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue sea of Ibrox.
why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
It's a blue sea of Ivor. That's fabulous, isn't it?
It's not the Blue Notes, but I quite liked that. That was quite. What do you think, Portbear? I quite liked it.
It's a bit of a waltzy version, a wee slow dance. That's all right.
A waltzy one. A waltz. Would you say it was a waltz, Bridgeman? He's away.
I'm just been waltzing.
He's waltzing now. I was going to say it. He's got Mrs. Bridgeman swinging her about.
There's a name for that for somebody that waltzes on their own. Right, we'll get a wee statement which we think's important for anybody who's trying to go to the game on Thursday. And I think Bridgeman's going to start it off, and then we'll take it from there. It's about supporters information for this weekend's coming game. Bridge, you ready?
Okay. Yes, indeed. Statement from the club. Ahead of Sunday's Scottish Premiership match against Hibernian, Rangers would like to update the supporters on the introduction of the vaccine certificate checks across Scotland.
From October the 1st, following legislation introduced by the Scottish Government, no laughing at the back there, everyone attending matches at Ibrox Stadium must be fully vaccinated, and everyone must bring proof of this status with you to the match unless exempt.
According to the Scottish Government guidelines, fully vaccinated means vaccinated with a MHA recognised vaccine in line with the MHA recommended number of doses for the vaccine used. 2 weeks have passed for the vaccine to take effect.
Supporters are encouraged to arrive with a hard copy of their vaccine certificate. However, digital copies will also be accepted. Visitors from all parts of the UK will be able to use their existing vaccine certificates.
Following groups are exempt from carrying proof of vaccination under 18s. People are not able to receive the vaccine for medical reasons. Participants in vaccine trials, workers or volunteers at venues or events.
Those exempt for medical reasons or due to participation in vaccine trials are asked to carry an official letter to confirm this. You will not be admitted to the stadium without it.
COVID status certification does not replace existing measures, and supporters are encouraged to continue to wear face coverings and follow the test and protect rules and guidance.
Rangers are obliged to follow legislation. We appreciate supporters' cooperation at this time. Those vaccinated in Scotland can access their certificate by following instructions here. That's on the main Rangers page, yeah, on the supporters' information, and it was released today. Well, we think it's important we put it out there, and we'll remind you as the week goes on for anybody who's attending the match on Sunday. Alex?
Yeah, if that's what we've got to do, we've got to do it. Just mean we need, if you've got a letter, you can produce a letter. Or also, can you take a photograph of the letter and screenshot it when you're passing through? Is it random checks? I take it.
But random checks. So you need to either have an electronic copy on your phone or a hard copy of paper. The electronic copy will be for the NHS. I'll tell you the details of it there on the website. Just a sign of the times, and hopefully it doesn't cause too much confusion getting in. People turn up maybe 5-10 minutes earlier. A bit of common sense, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I've got to do. What happens to the people, right? They've paid their season tickets and that, and they've not had the second vaccination, or they're not getting vaccinated, so they'll not get access into the ground.
If you've not had your vaccine within the last 2 weeks, mate, the second one, they've not getting on the ground. Don't blame me, blame Nicola. I
totally agree with you, Oxy. I'm just saying that this is what will happen here with people, right, when they get up there, because I take it these stewards are going to randomly check you before you get in that, so I don't know. I mean, I've had my vaccines and that. I'm just looking at the other side here.
Rich he's at 3 now. He's at 3 Jags.
The booster. Is it the booster?
No, the booster, no. Just when you're coming.
You know, used to have John Prescott 2 Jags, Bridgeman 3 Jags.
Two jabs, John. Two jags, John.
Right, okay, so we'll keep reminding you, but that was important we do that, will it?
Absolutely, aye. That's to let people know. So as when they get in there, they know exactly what they've got to do.
Your QR code you'll need off the phone to get, yeah? You know, one of these QR codes. But it's all there, and we'll go into more detail as the week goes on, yeah? But that was just to get so people start thinking about it and get themselves sorted before the game at the weekend. What better? Make sure everything's done correctly, yeah?
Yeah, mate, it's having been one of the ones that caught it, I think it's very important, mate. It'd be a shame for some poor punter to go up and, you know, not the right documentation with them and not get in. So I don't want to see it happen to absolutely anyone. So just take whatever you have, whether it be the QR code or your letter to say you've had all your stuff done. But it's sensible, mate. It's to keep people safe, and I totally understand it.
Aye, it's just where we are. Whether we agree or disagree about the politics there, that's another argument, but you just have to deal with the cards you've got. Anyway, talking about a top card, being joined, or a top trump even. We've been joined by George for EK. How we doing, George?
Evening, boys. How you doing?
Georgie boy, how we doing, mate?
All right, what's better by everyone? And Alec, I have to agree totally with your assessment now. You were saying earlier on there, man. Bang on the money, mate. I remember with Stephen Gerrard used to say after a short press conference, that wasn't the Rangers. Surprised he never said it at the weekend. I'm surprised because that wasn't the Rangers.
I can't disagree with George. Look, we can critique it, we can go it, but we know we never played well, mate. You can't. You can get
shocking,
some of the
man.
people.
Tavernier and Golson were absolutely woeful, weren't they? Woeful, man. Absolutely woeful. I believe he's turning Tavernier inside out the full game.
You can kid some of the people some of the time, but not all of the people.
Aye, I agree with you, mate, man. And I was like, Stephen Gerrard, I was like, what game were you watching, Gerrard? Because it certainly was the same game as me and my mucker.
No.
And I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried for Thursday, by the way. If we play that kind of the same way in Thursday, we're going to get beat and against the Spoonburners.
Well, we've just got to get this. I don't know.
You just wonder, Oxford, innit?
Slumber. That's a good word. That sums it up nicely. Yeah, slumber. That sums it up nicely. Bridgeman, in you come. Slumber. He likes a bit of slumbering. Deserve Bridge. Port.
If it was Fox, it'd be lumber.
Aye, he likes a bit of lumbering. Deserve Fox.
Indeed, mate. We have to find what's going on to get us out of this slumber. I think we've all tried on here to, you know, all different opinions on what we think it is it, you know, fitness. I think I heard you mention a crack earlier night, you know, the guys that are playing in international football come back playing their league duties and then they play in the Europa Cup and then again they're playing the Sunday. Is it becoming a problem, a fitness oxygen, where these guys maybe just are not up to 4 games maybe in a week or 3 games in a week? It didn't seem to affect us last year, but you know, I heard you mention that earlier night. I thought, you know, it's not a bad shout. As I said, mate, we're all absolutely struggling to find out why Rangers are in the form they are. But like I keep saying, I think we're only around the corner, and eventually it should click. But one big problem for me, Oxshire, is the consistency of selection. I'm finding hard. Yet again, Kent's dropped out. Hollander, missing him, I think, big time. So some of our main performers, and probably a stronger performers at the start of the season, not Kent included in this, by the way, mate. We're starting to notice maybe the Strong's not as strong as it was. And did the Champions League qualifier have some part of it as well, mate? Is that early Champions League qualifier? Has that played some part?
I would say confidence that affects you go on a run, Alex. We wish confidence can be affected by loads of things, can it?
Absolutely. That could be it, just the confidence. But I'm a great believer. The squad Rangers has got now, they should be able to put players out there to beat Dundee and these teams in the Premier League. But there's, as I say before, I don't want to go all ground in that, but there's something wrong on the training ground. I don't know. I don't even know what the tactics is. It's kind of strange to me. There's a guy there playing centre half with Dundee, that Fontaine. He stole through the game, by the way. Absolutely. He wouldn't get a game with Wishy Rangers at centre half. Honest, he stole through the game. No pressure on him or nothing. Now, we've really got to buckle down now and get back and listen to what the management team and the coaching staff's telling them, whether they're taking in or they're not taking in. Because this is a massive game, I know, this European game. We're wanting a good run in that. And it seems as if we're in a bit of a rut now. And hopefully we can get out of it sooner or later.
Well, I know your wife's not on the night, so you're a very wise man in your house, but put your finger on it for us.
Well, did you see the interview with Tavernier on Saturday after the match?
I couldn't bring myself to watch it, mate.
I was the same.
He looked like a wee boy that had been caught stealing sweeties.
Right.
So he
Rich
did.
man, how does that feel? I carry on, Billy. Put your finger on it. Tell me what you think it is. George has come up with a word slumber. We're using that, yeah? How do we
I
do
think it
this
could be,
slumber?
as I said, they all expected their big move. It could be all they're interested in is these European games. So they're just strolling about at the weekend thinking, we'll just take it easy today because we've got a big game during the week. That's the big game. That's the games we want to play. This league's rubbish. They all just park the bus, which is fair enough. They just about park the bus because I think that's why we so much look forward to an Old Firm game. They're just about the only team domestically that don't park the bus against us.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, mate. I didn't really think Dundee or Motherwell parked the bus.
No, Dundee didn't. Motherwell did for a long spell, especially when they equalised.
I mean, they wasted and killed the game when they got the equaliser, but I never, even when we were maybe dominating them, I didn't get the feeling that they had 11 men behind the ball the way they did under the previous manager. Just my thoughts, mate.
No, for 90 minutes, Oaks, but I think certainly Motherwell did. After 66 minutes, I think they equalised. And for that minute, they did nothing but lie down, kid on, they were injured, and just park the bus, and it's horrific. See, the week before the St Johnstone game, I mean, I watched the first half, and I went to make myself a cup of tea. I had to drag myself back to the TV, because I thought, if this second half is as bad as that first half, I don't know if I can watch it.
The ball boys deliberately slowing the game down, says everything about Scottish football. Alex, we wish on you come, mate, and then Georgie K.
Oh, I agree with William there. But there's also an bit of time wasting and all. See the last 5 minutes of that game? Your heart was in your mouth. We're taking the ball out of the wing. We're slowing the game down. And you're like, please, just blow the whistle. Honestly. Because we go to jail. There's no getting away, but we go to jail there on Saturday. And we keep saying, hope it's a one-off. But the point is, it's no one-off because it's happened. You go back to the Dundee United game, it was all there. And they don't seem to be taking it all on board. William's got a right point there. It could be they think they're too good in this European football. But if that's the case, it's serious stuff then. We've got to just go now and we've got a hard game on Thursday. We've also got a hard game next Sunday. I'm not going to look too far away because Hibs will not park the bus. They'll come out and have a go and all. They can see the weaknesses in that Rangers team now. And they're certainly there for us all to look at.
George E.K.
I think Alex hit the nail on the head, 100%. Honestly, man, see the goals in that and other players. I think they're looking at it as if last season was last season was the way they wanted to play, man. I mean, to win the championship and all they need today. I think all they're interested in is money. That's what I think. I'm interested in money. And if you go down to England playing a subpar, middle of the table Premier League team and go like that, in the day, I've got a winner's medal when I played the Rangers, and I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Because they just don't look up for it at all. They really don't, man. It's woeful, actually, mate, you know what I mean?
Right, okay, all right, okay. Look, you're right, and I think we could get in the houses all right, Port Bear, yeah? But we'll take it positive. We're sitting top of the league. We've went one further in the League Cup so far than we've done last year. and we're still in Europe, and Thursday becomes a massive game, mate, because if we come out of there with any points at all, we're well in this group. If to get the runners-up spot, because let's be honest, we all think Leon are going to walk that group, yeah?
Indeed, mate. I mean, in current form, Oxshire, I would give you my right arm to be top of the league. In current form, I would give you my right arm to be, top of the league in the style we've played. We've not played like the same Rangers team for last year. I hate harping on about it. We're miles off it. Absolutely miles off it. At times, to me, as I said, it looks very disjointed. It looks like a brand new team that Gerrard just stuck together at the beginning of the season. And, but we have to, as you said, mate, we have to move on. We're top of the league. We're in the quarterfinals of the Cup. We saw the semi-finals of the Cup.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, we've got our Champions League.
We've done it 2 years ago. We got to the final, and the year before that, we could be in the semi, just letting you know, mate.
Yeah, thank you. But we move into Europe, that's a class above Dundee, mate, and that this is what the boys and the call and the panel are worried about. If we go out and play like that against a European side, mate, who have, it can be absolute turn your telly off, hide behind the couch, pull your, get your pillow over your face stuff, because that's not what we expect as Rangers fans. The frustrating thing for me, Oxshire, I know what that team's capable of. So does Alex, so does Oxshire, so does Bridgman, George, EK, William. We know what this team's capable of, the style of football and stuff. That's what really bugs me. That's what really I can't understand Oxshire, and I just don't want to see us getting an absolute spanking in Europe, because if we play like that, that's exactly what we'll get, mate, and that wouldn't bode well for the rest of the season, because if this team's confidence is down now and they're finding it hard to lift themselves, what's it going to be like, Oxshire, if they face an absolute tanking in Europe? Or even the next game, Oxshire, Hibs, that's not a giveaway either. They've had a great start to the season, and they have got players that will hurt us.
Aye, we have to up our game, mate. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's to coin a phrase for Alec, if we play like that, wishing Rangers would beat us, But listen, we need to move forward, and I'm going to put George EK after Alex Wisha on the spot, and I want their teams, and then we'll bring in Molly. I want their teams for Thursday night. Alec, you've been put on the fourth spot first.
There you go, and I'm not the manager. That's me just starting at the number one. That's the number one.
Every one of the players, Alex. I recognise every one of them.
McLaughlin's absolutely done. He's done well there, right? But I've got a sneaky feeling McGregor will get in Thursday. Right? I would play Nathan Patterson. Unfortunately, we've not really got that many good centre backs at the moment, so we'd probably have to go with Golson after giving him dog's abuse, but I'd probably have to go with him, go with Balogun, and I think they may play Big Bonner. Midfield, I'd have Stevie Davis, I would have Lundstrom, Kamara. Then I would have up front, I would have Aribo, Morelos, and Sakala.
Okay, mate, that's okay. George EK.
He's just very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
I would go with Nathan Patterson in goal. Lundstrom's been good, but I think he'll go with him, mate. I think he'll go with Greasy. So I think Greasy will be in goal. I'll play Nathan Patterson. I thought Golson, Balogun. It's a toss-up between Bassey and Hingley. That's something I'm going to say. I'll go with Bonner. Midfield, I'll go with Davis. Lundstrom. And the evil comes. I was going to pick them all. And up front, I would go with Sakala. No, no matter.
Oh, George, I'm going to work tomorrow.
All right. Morelos, Roof, and Sakala.
Okay, interesting. Any thoughts on the two teams?
Attacking team. What?
Any thoughts on the two? No, and you come. What?
I thought you were asking me something. Have you asked me something, Roxia?
No, your name's George. Willie, and you come.
Right. Hi, hello.
Hello, and you come.
I think I could give you the team that I think it'll play.
Go on then, and then I'll get Port to comment.
Okay, it'll go McGregor, it'll go Tavernier, it'll go Golson, Balogun, Barisic, it'll go Davis, Lundstrom, Kamara, and up front it'll go Hadji, Morelos, and Sakala.
Okay. Thoughts on the teams, Port Bear?
I'm going to go with Willie's team, mate. That was a team I was going to pick.
He copying his homework?
He's just sent me in, mate. He just sent me it. Yep, he just sent me it. No, I've got one change, mate. I've got the same team as Willie, but I'm taking Morelos out and playing Roof instead of Morelos, mate. I've got a problem with Morelos now, mate. As much as his touch for Aribo was absolutely sublime, he offered nothing else in the game, mate. And I think, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, guys, I think he's a stone overweight, mate. I think he's shifting more beef than John Wayne. He is, you know, but he's a stone overweight, and this is why I think the movement and the way he loves to wrestle with defenders. I love he's added to his game about, flicks to the left, flicks to the right, etc. But my front three with Sakala, Roof, and Hadji.
I'll tell you what, I've got more problem with a stone overweight. I've got more problem with Roof than a stone overweight Morelos, mate. He could be two stone overweight and he'd still be in the team before Morelos, Roof for me.
Can I give you mine?
Go on then, Bridge.
I think it's very similar to Willie's. Williams, if you prefer being called William.
Oh, Willie's fine.
With the exception of your, you went for, in the left wing, you went for Roof. Is that Roof did you go for? Or no, you went for, what's it? Oh, God almighty. The young lad. Casala, right, okay. I've gone for right.
Fashion.
So that's it, fashion. I went for McGregor, Tav, Golson, Balogun, and Bonner. Lundstrom, Davis, and Kamara. Hadji, Morelos, and Wright.
Right?
Yep, that's right.
Right. Bridgeman, you report tomorrow at 9 o'clock each.
That's what I would put in. A lot of pace that way, a lot of pace.
Even when he came on Saturday, Port Bear, I didn't think he done. He's a boy like the whole team. Looks as if he's lost a wee bit of confidence as well.
Aye, definitely, mate. I mean, I don't know what causes this. Oh, dear, I really don't know what causes it. You'd think their tails would be up this year. You think that squad would be flying after what they achieved last year. Achieving greatness. The team just seems to be very flat all over the pitch. But for Thursday night, mate, Wright's things on the mentioned on the show the other night. I think Wright is. This is going to sound really harsh. I think he's going to become a bit part player and an impact player for the bench, mate. That's my opinion. That's what I think that boy is. But I've been proved wrong before because Ryan Jack, similar George. When Ryan Jack first signed for Rangers, I thought he would be a squad player, and Ryan Jack's came on leaps and bounds under the gaffer. So I hope he proves me wrong next year. But for me, Wright's a way off at the moment, even in league terms. I think he's way off.
All right, Bridge. It's nice debate there, getting it started. Any comments, George?
I totally agree with what Bear says here about Wright, man. I don't know what's happened to Wright, man. He was outstanding, man, for some reason, man. He just seems to have tailed right off, man. He's not the same player he was. I don't know why it is, man. There's just something lacking in the team. I don't know what it is, man. There's a spark there. The spark seems to be missing. And as Port Bear says, it's true. Not after last season, you know what I mean? This year, I think he's even more eager, by the way, the chance of getting 56 and getting straight in the Champions League. I can't fathom it out. I think he'd be up for it last season.
There's a big carrot at the end of it.
Aye, mate. It's a big carrot.
But then, would they know someone, when Michael Beale phones us up, would they know someone and say, look, we're top of the league, We're not far behind last year's points total. What's the issue, Alex?
That's a good question. You'd probably say that. What's all the negativity for you look at it that way? But you're only talking about performances here, and it's fell short.
Alex, know what I mean?
That's it, George. It's fell short compared to last year. You've got to be quite truthful about it. I agree with you there about Morelos. I'd play Morelos in Europe all the time. He seems to shine. He shines better in Europe. Whether he maybe won the shot one day or what it is with him, but he's definitely got to lead the line as far as I'm concerned. Although he's not been at the races, he certainly wasn't even at the races here on Saturday. But I still believe we need him in Europe. I've left Hadji out, but the only simple reason is to bring him on. He could change the game. That's the only reason I never played Hadji. I played a remote Hadji.
I thought Hadji started the game okay on Saturday, but as a team felt like he forward players never got a lot of the ball. I'll be fair with I can be, Port.
Oh, sure. What did you think of that tackle on him?
I thought it was a red card, mate.
So did I. A red card all day. It was a horrendous tackle, by the way.
I thought it was a red card because it was so late.
Yeah, the rat catcher are giving it, brother.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll ask a referee. We've got a referee in here. And you go, boy.
Hello, it was absolutely a red card. It was an assault. That was an tackle designed to injure the player.
Games.
Sorry?
We should get you doing all the Rangers games. We would have a problem.
I will. If Clancy can do them, I can do them.
Aye, that's a fair shout. That's a fair shout. Aye.
What a joke that is.
Oh, mate. Oh. Would you give a penalty for the G United?
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, aye.
He was too worried. He wouldn't be able to get into his work if he gave that penalty.
That's the examples you can use for a red card to tackle.
To be fair, I think the referee was taking in public safety into consideration because he never sent him off because there was no empty seats in the stadium. Listen, Hadji, to give him a point on Hadji, mate, I don't think he was great, Port, but obviously you need to get the ball as well.
I think as a team, as I said, mate, the first 10-15 minutes, I can pretty much tell how Rangers are going to play. And when Rangers are playing, I think that's when you see Hadji playing. As you said, he did have a bright start to the game and looked like they did in the second half of the game. Come on, he looked bright. He looked, like the guy that was going to make something happen. But as we always talk on here, Oxshire, our forward players, and we're more forward-thinking players, we're intelligent guys, they're not getting the service, mate. They're not getting the service. And it must be so frustrating to be in the Rangers front line at the moment because they've been absolutely starved. Sometimes I think, Kamara, whether it was Lundstrom, or Aribo, he does go and join and become a number 10. Sometimes I don't think they're getting themselves forward. And I keep saying this, I still think we could be playing another 20 yards up the field, mate. I think, why are we sitting back but we're marking one guy?
How many times was Lundstrom between Balogun and Connor Golson, mate?
I know that's what I'm saying, mate. That's a frustrating thing. Why is he not pushing up? Why is Connor Golson not telling him to get out? Get out of here. You got up and go and join in, because I think all you're doing is inviting them right back on. If we squeeze them into their own half and Lundstrom's 20 yards forward, our fullbacks are 20 yards forward. Now we've got pace in the fullback positions that can get back if the ball does go over the top. And the keeper is like a sweeper keeper sometimes. John McLaughlin's quite quick off his line as well if anything does go over the top. I just think, mate, everything's passive. We're too deep and we need to get this tempo again. And like we touched on, I think I heard you saying it before as well, our pressing game's gone. I watched some games for last year this morning, and that we used to press. When we played Dundee, last time we played them, we beat them 3-0 and Glenn Kamara get the goal. The goal comes from Rangers pressing them in their own half, and they couldn't get out. They were trying to play from the back. But, I can understand actually why we can't press anymore. I think that was a massive part of Rangers under Steven Gerrard. But now we seem to be happy to let teams come on to us, and that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth. I just want them to get, even if they can press. I'm not saying press as much Oxford, but you need to press when they've got the ball and they're trying to play it for the back. Bring back the pressing, mate, because that definitely worked. And if it's a fitness thing and you can't press, then you need to try another tactic. As you always say, Mr. Beale needs to give you a phone, but we need to press teams Oxford. This is where it starts. We defend from the front. Our forward line used to press from the front, which didn't allow them to play for the back. They would try and knock the ball back, and they would often give it back straight to us. And in the 5-second rule where we had, if you lose the ball, you've got 5 seconds to get it back. Where's all that gone, mate? Where is that gone?
See if I'm being honest, Alex, very wishy. When we started against Partick Thistle around Tranmere, when you consider last year's pre-season when we went away to France and you think of day games, and it's not the tempo in it, apart from the Real Madrid game where we were like that, we come away thinking, we're all right then. Even Livingston after that, we weren't great, and then the 2 Malmo games kicked in, Dundee United, so I go back to the Partick Thistle and Tranmere games where a lack of tempo were there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you're saying the Real Madrid game was the one that gave us all kind of false hope. We were watching them, how we played. We thought, this is how we're taking off now. This has got to be great. But the league performances since then, you can look back, you've just said it there, the Dundee United games, that set the stall. We never competed at all in that game, and we get beat. And we've just been getting by with slightly getting a result, and we're getting the 3 points in that. But we all know, we all go and support the team. They want to run Rangers Football Club down. But as I say, we've got to tell the truth how we're playing and how we're not playing. And we're struggling at the minute. I just hope we can turn things around and Thursday can kick us off. But we've seen that every week now. The next games they want to kick us off, but we really need to start putting a performance on. We can't afford to carry any passengers. You're getting to this European football. It's got to be an 8 out of 10. All these players on the park. You can't be doing there at 3.5 and 4. But we've done with the scores there with Dundee, because that's just not going to happen to compete in European football. So we've all got to be at the top of our game here, and just hopefully we can turn it around now.
Yeah, you're talking about somebody who's always top of his game, and his missus has confirmed it for me. We've been joined by Andrew from Leeds.
Good evening, chaps. Very good show, some great points on it. What concerns me, right, is I'm a bit concerned about Steven Gerrard and his backroom team here. Whatever they're saying to him, they're certainly not listening to him. He come out before a game and said, right, we're going to do this. We're going to try and run him off the park, and then comes out with a statement like that after the game, saying that we thought we did well. Well, he's kidding himself. That's just ridiculous statements. Get it right, get them in there, get them told what it is to play for him. He keeps coming out and saying, this club expects trophies, we expect to do this, we expect to do that. They players are no. But with what we've got here is previous to the winning the championship last year. Right? We've got the same players that make the same mistakes, that can't handle it and bottle it. They got to sell into 2 positions before we won the league and bottled it. And the same old failings are coming out there now. As it stands now, they've not got the heart for it, some of them. They can't play in that shirt. And I've said it, I've constantly said it. And your captain and your vice-captain, I've said that from day one of coming on the show, if you look back. I don't rate them at all. They're just average. And they were good last season because we went on that run collective where we played as a team. When they don't play as a team, they too usually stand up and come out and be a big mistake, man. Always with them too. I can't understand. Surely he should be getting them and bouncing them off the wall. That's just not acceptable. How the hell was top of the league, right? Which is great. That's the only positive we can take out of it. But never mind Europe. I said at the start there when we started, I don't think it's going. I think it's going to be one of them years in Europe with Rangers. Honestly, do. I hope I'm wrong, but I'll tell you, we get big problems. We've got Hibs, Hearts, and the Shaggers. If we don't up our game for that, we'll be tossing points back to them. That's a fact, because we can't play like we're playing now against the 3 teams.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you, mate. I think we've been joined by Ross. How we doing, Ross?
All right, Ox, how you doing, pal?
All right, mate. Aye. How are you, mate?
Not bad, so bad. Everything all right with you?
Aye. How's the Bulls? You gave it up. I hear you shoot.
Aye, mate, it's finished, mate. That's it done now, so it is, aye.
I heard you just gave it up a few weeks ago. That's the feedback I'm getting.
Aye, they're not lying to you. They're not lying to you.
You're just like, it was like Ali's team in 78. You've done well against the top team, but threw it away against the minnows. Is this correct?
Aye, that's pretty much spot on. You're right, aye. Nah, superb day, but so it was superb, lads, honestly. What a day. And going back to it, like, everyone done brilliant, done their bit for a great cause, you know what I mean? So it was great.
Well, we'll give you another chance next year, but after that, we'll need to seriously consider your position because we want silver.
Oh, superb.
Was it a beer that took over, Ross?
What's that?
Was it a beer that took over, mate? I heard you had a good start.
We had a good start, aye. And then I think it was about 11:45, and then that was it. Downhill after that, mate.
Oh, my phone was gone. We won the first game with 9-0 Port Bernard.
I know, mate.
How well we're playing. It never went. I see all I've lost.
I'd be surprised.
What's on your mind, Rod?
And just about the weekend and probably about everyone else is touching on Ox. Like, we're just not playing well now, are we? I mean, we're just kind of just getting by and no more. I mean, the last 10 minutes, I mean, like, honest to God, you're sitting at that side of that park and you're a nervous wreck, do you know what I mean? I just think as if, like, we're getting the first goal and then we're just thinking that's enough, as if it's like a complacency thing. I just don't know, mate.
Well, you putting it down, you putting it down a lack of quality, leadership, confidence, fitness.
I just think it's complacency. I really do. I just think that 1-0, that's us ahead. That's us. We've done enough. Like, they're just so sloppy, aren't they? Just, I don't know if it's concentration or not. I mean, one long ball nearly done us. Do you know what I mean? Like, Golson's just, I don't know. He should be going header on that 100%.
George EK, slumber. What was the word you used for the slumber?
Aye, we definitely are, by you know what I mean? We need to shake, we need to wake up, by the way, and play the way we can play, which for last season, man, was exceptional. Even the year before, some of the games we played, and a lot of the games we played the high intensity. It's the passing sloppy, and all. You know, it's the passing sloppy.
I think we're just slow, George, when we get the ball. We're so slow there.
Slow around the passing sloppy, by you know what I mean?
Well, that's slow. That reminds me of Bridgeman going to the bar.
But, remember what happened to that? Stopping their players run with the ball. That guy ran with the way to your box. You know what I mean? I was like myself, God, he's going to score, by the way. You know what I mean? And there's so much for the. When they lose the ball, we get it back within 5 seconds. That seems to have gone. That's missing for you again now.
Aye. Listen,
we're really going to have to pick it up, haven't we? I mean, like, one of these times we're going to get caught out. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, I think the point Alex Wishaw's made, it's not getting up there and a 1-0 win against Dundee. That's not the issue. The issue is what you're watching. I mean, we played with Dundee before. They beat us up there. You go up there and you play okay, and their goal is man of the match, and they break away and score. We get that, Alex, didn't we? But we're not watching that.
They certainly aren't they? But we've certainly got to improve. That's the bottom of it. Confidence is maybe low, but it's going right through the team. This is a problem we've got now. Maybe there are 1 or 2 players. But once it starts going right through, we've got a right issue. And we've really got to get the sleeves rolled up here. And get all together and realise what it's about to play with Rangers Football Club. Forget about last year. It was absolutely brilliant. That's what we all wanted, to stop the 55. But as I say, this year, that's when you know champions, when it's back to back. Europe Football is absolutely brilliant. We love it. Hope we get a good run at it again. But the bread and butter is this league. And certainly, we're going to get caught out. If we get into games like the way we've been playing, the last 5 weeks, we're going to get caught out. Your luck's bound to run out sooner or later, so we've got to address the problem properly here.
All right, okay, and you come.
Lads, do you still think
Ross,
do you
just,
still
Ross,
think?
Ross, just let Port come in. Cheers, mate.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. Just wait for your name. After Port, on you go, Port.
Oh, it's just an observation for the start of the season, and it's to all the guys, panel, etc., the guys that call. Have we got a real problem, Oxshire, as well, with set pieces, i.e. corners, free kicks run about the box, even throw-ins, Oxshire, even throw-ins, right? I'm just talking the fundamental basics of football. I think we are really struggling, mate, to capitalise on corners, because we average, 10 a game, at least, I'm saying here. We get several corners run about the box for dangerous positions, and we don't capitalise on them. And then even at throw-ins, mate, I don't see enough movement, Oxshire. I mean, sometimes the guys are looking forward, and then before you know it, it's getting through back to Conor Goldson, or on the other side, when Helander from Swit is getting thrown back to him. Do we have a real problem this year, mate?
It's coaching,
with set pieces. But why though? This is what I'm asking. Why?
Oh, tell Michael to give me a ring. And you come, Ross.
I totally agree, but I think our movement's shocking this year. I really do, and I think when people are moving, we're making the same runs, like the two forward boys. You know what I mean? The base of them are dropping off when one should be dropping off, and then another people should be going behind. We've not got
that.
George?
I totally agree with that. I said that before. There's no run after the ball at all. The guy gets the ball, guy's taking a shot, he throw in, but he's standing there for a good couple of minutes looking for somebody to throw the body. You know what I mean? And it ends up he throws it back away, which is completely wrong. You know what I mean? It goes against the grain. I'm talking about. I'm lying myself. Players should be running about after the ball, but we just don't. It just seems to be completely lacking. I don't know why. Do they think that last year was the be all and end all? Trying to stop him winning that fake 10. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But then last year. So I says, man, this year's more important, baby. You know what I mean? To win it back to obviously to show that we are a brilliant team, you know what I mean? And to get that 56 and get the Champions League proper.
All right, we'll be joined by Big Al for Down Under, then we'll go to Andy Felix. And you go, on you go, man, big man.
Can you hear me all right?
Aye, we can hear you, mate.
Just pulling out there. Look, it's frustrating. I'll preface everything I'm going to say with we're top of the league, which I'm happy about. But in the same respect, I think the manager has to have a good look at himself. I think he seems a bit bored with his interview after the game. He doesn't seem to be the same kind of guy. The players, he keeps going back to the same players. He spoke about the strength and depth that we had, but 2 players for every position in that. I don't know where that is, because I don't see that. Basically, we've got the same team or the same starting 11 we've had for the last 3 years. I think I'm correct in saying that. He doesn't seem to want to change it. You said yourself, Fox, and I've said it myself as well. For me, for the Tranmere game, there's not been any impetus in the team. We keep referring back to a game against Real Madrid, which was a friendly, which their manager stopped when he felt like stopping the game. That means nothing. Morelos overweight? If Morelos is overweight, well, the manager and his backroom staff have got something to answer for allowing a player to be overweight. I don't know if he is overweight or he's just built up, put a bit of muscle on. He's certainly not the player he is. And I don't think there's no marquee signings came in. He's went into another league title, a very important league title for us to get that 56 on our way to 60. And he's no shook up the team. He's just brought in some squad fillers. And I think he's done that the whole thing. We've not got any marquee signings. Somebody's got to come in there and really shake it up. He's all raving about Aribo, Kamara, Davis. They're just as bad. He's mentioned the night service to the front players. Well, they're the guys. That's it. That's the midfield that has to supply the front players, is it not? They're not doing it. Our captain, he's not very often will I agree with Andy for Leeds, but Tavernier is average, and when there is mistakes or when we didn't seem to play well, he seems to be the guy that a lot of that happens with, and nothing gets said about it. He's all got man love for Steven Gerrard and Tavernier and Goldson and that. I think they've just all, as a collective, I think we just got everything they could give was last season.
Not guilty.
And unfortunately, they've just not got it this season. Because I don't think we shook up the team enough. You can't start. Better never stops. I don't know who coined that phrase. Was it Castor or the manager? But it certainly stopped this season.
One of the performances are high. One of the performances are
shocking, man. Shocking.
Yeah. But listen, I think we've been very fair in our critique of the performance for Saturday, mate.
I think we're not passionate about our team, but come on, somebody has to pull the finger out here. And at the end of the day, if you see another team playing like this, if you see another team that's no Glasgow Rangers, you're looking at the manager. The manager has to do something. And I do think it's a long time to be away. You live away from home, mate. I'm away from home. There's guys on here away from home. I've worked away from home all my days. It's a long time to be away from your family, and he might have just peaked himself as a manager. He maybe needs a fresh challenge. He may go on to be a very successful manager. He may not, but something has to happen with him as well. Michael Beale, look, he writes books and all that, but he's wanting to go on a diet. I wouldn't be too impressed. That boy walking about the trying to motivate me as a player, walking about giving me tactics and all that. It's just maybe I'm being a bit fickle, but did he play football to any standard, any level?
I think he got injured as a young man, mate. That's the thing. Yeah.
I think there needs to be a drastic shake-up. They need to have a good look in the mirror, every one of them. But I think maybe the clubs let the manager down as well. That we never got in real marquee signings. Very difficult to do that. Maybe Buchanan and Lundstrom and that will come on to the game. But there's two players there, Buchanan and Lundstrom. How were they not playing together? Because that was their two signings in the summer.
Well, I think Buchanan's come on the last two matches, mate. He hadn't had the pre-season at all. He hadn't played it. So we might start seeing more of him. But look, only time will tell. I mean, we've not seen enough of him to judge. And let's be honest, we were critical of John Lundstrom, and I think we've been very fair. He's arguably our best player the last two matches. Two matches, aye. Yeah.
Yep.
And you come, Andy Felix here.
Well, I'm going to shock Big Al. I totally agree with him on the Stevie Gerrard one right enough. Ashug's has been saying for the start of the season his body language didn't look right. So, like Al said there, maybe he don't want to be there. Maybe he thinks he's done his time there. But he certainly, whatever he's doing there, he's not motivating them players when they're going back in, because these performances are constant. And let's be honest, to go back to Tranmere, the constant, there's not much improvement any game on. In fact, I thought we looked in the last couple of games, I think we've gone back a ways. I think the two performances of the last two have been absolutely terrible. I'm really worried. I think we could get a shellacking there on Thursday if we go with that attitude.
Andy, that's the thing. See, Gravy Boy's been said that a few times tonight, like, we're only a game away from us giving somebody a scalping. I'd put the shoe in our foot. We're maybe only a game or two away from getting a scalping. And then
I think we are on that defending. Definitely, I totally agree with you. It's a real worry. I think the next, I know it's a European game we're building up to, but I think the next 3 league games are going to tell us what we're about, because really, sitting at 6 points in front, the way we've played, we should be coming out at the leashes going, right, these 3 games, we can really bust this league as early as it is. If we get 3 wins off of them, but I've got no confidence, and I'll tell you, we play anything like that, we're dropping points on Sunday. Because they'll come and have a go.
100%, mate.
Aye, well, it looks that way, mate. I don't think we were great on Sunday either, what I was told. But listen, mate, I think Port Bear, I think all the boys, and I congratulate for the way you put your points of view across. I think they're a terrible performance. We've critiqued it very fairly.
That's one thing on here, Ox. Yeah, you mean we say what we see. You know, when the team are good, they get the praise. When the team are bad, you know, we critique the game as we see it. And that Big Al made a good point, like Andy did. Sometimes we come on here and we critique players, but you know, in the last few weeks, I know Michael Beale's name's come up, but like the boys have just said, mate, maybe Stevie Gerrard, maybe the can stops for him as well, because end of the day, he's the guy who picks the team. He's taking advice from his coaches, etc. So you know, this is probably important. The next 3 games, mate, like Andy says, mate, are probably very, very important. We could really go and stretch this and stretch our lead in the league. We're playing 2 of the teams that are our closest rivals at the moment. So I totally agree with Andy and Big Al.
We can't turn our focus to Sunday to get Thursday at the road.
Yeah.
Here. Next game's the biggest
Bristol
game.
boy.
Yes, mate. Yes, mate.
That Bridge go, sorry.
Sorry, okay, pal. I was just going to say...
Bristol boy. There was a podcast done pre-season with Steven Gerrard, and he spoke about that. This it kind of got me because he spoke about him giving up the game to spend time with his family. Now, a few things you see online and that, he's got a young son there. Fathers and daughters have a special relationship, but fathers and son have another special relationship.
Yeah,
he might be wanting to spend some time missing the young man. You know, it's an outside influence, and I don't decry him any of that. It's just an outside influence that maybe he's not got 100% focus on the team, like, you know. When you see him with his young son and that. So I think all these things, they all add up. At the end of the day, they all add up.
His body language is not right, I don't know.
No.
Well, hopefully we're reading too much in it. It's just confidence we can turn the corner, but we've been saying that for weeks. And you come, Bridge, you were trying to make a point.
I need to go, guys, but thanks for taking my call, okay?
Cheers, big man.
Well, thank you very
much.
Big
chat.
Right, on you go, Bridge.
Can I just say that it's actually, I'm sitting here and listening to you on over the last 5-10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes. There's been quite a lot of criticism of the manager and his coaching staff, and that might be fair enough. But I don't see what the criticism is about, to be honest. I think it's criticism for the sake of criticism. I think the manager's done a fabulous job for us. God help us if he walks away. You know what I mean? So we need to keep the manager because he's the one that keeps everything going.
He's a big part of the project, Bridge.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Teams are setting up to stop us in midfield. They're playing 5 in there. They're swarming us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got to realise that.
So how many people could do the tactic?
They need to realise it and get on and get it sorted. Whatever it is needs sorted, they need to sort it. If he turns around and says, no, I'm playing 4-3-3 and that's all there is to it, I don't care what anybody else plays, then he needs to build a team that can play 4-3-3 no matter what anybody else plays. And we don't have a team that can do that at the moment.
The only thing I will say is it's not the manager's fault when somebody passes the ball to the partner. What bear?
100%, mate. You know, the manager picks a team. They go over that white line, mate, and it's up to you as a player to stand up and be counted. That's the way I played the game. You know, all the instructions in the game you want, you take your instructions in, you go out and you play to the best of your ability and give 110%. So it's not that we're saying even Gerrard's not doing his job, but are the players taking in the same information they've been given in coaching?
Well, Bridge used to get the pep talk every week. Whatever you do, don't get booked within the first 10 minutes every week. Doesn't matter.
You know as well, but you know as well, Oxgear. You know as well, Oxgear. You played decent. It's up to you as a player to go in there and give your 110%. That's all we ask for, Oxgear. That's all I'll ask for. As long as that team go out and show me that they've bled, snot, tears, blood, the whole lot, and give me 110%, I can take that as a fan watching that. But I can't take what I seen in Saturday. I can't take that, mate, because that hurts watching
you'll
that.
Find this hard to believe. You'll need to take it for another night because we've reached that time of the evening, mate.
What?
Oh, wow.
Aye.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Geez,
that
you
time of the evening. Port Bear.
Aye, well, again, Oxdear, thank you very much. Thanks, Bridgeman, again. Old school, Foxy boy. Great night, great chat, great debate, guys, by the way, yet again. All the callers, Alec Favishaw, etc. Superb night, great points, guys. Over to yourself, Bridgeman.
So about you, Bridge.
Well, thank you very much. Can I just say, wonderful night, by the way, Oxford. Well done to every single person, technical team, the lot. Absolutely fantastic. And your guests have been superb. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, we really are the people. And the people will keep the Rangers going. And everybody, get together, keep it going for the Rangers, because a huge game coming up Thursday. Keep it going.
All right, Glenn, try to phone in near the end of the show. Phone in back tomorrow night, Glenn. We'll take your point, mate. Not a problem. Can I thank Ross? Always good to hear from you, mate. Good to talk to you, mate. Yeah, and I'll get you some new balls for your Christmas. Willie, good to hear from you, the referee. Alex Favishaw, George UK, Andy for Leeds, Big Al, everybody took the time to join us on the call tonight. Thank Bridgeman and Port Bear for doing the show. Hopefully, we can have the big announcement tomorrow night. It's all coming together. Can I thank Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. And Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. We'll be joined by Big Stevie. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Another great show, Oxford. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When McAvaney scored the first, the beggars thought it was the first of many. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. It didn't take long to realise when Super Ali equalised. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then up stepped Super A. It was a 30-yarder all the way. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then Andrews claimed he couldn't see when Super Ali made it 3. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. The Ibrox fans, well, they wanted more when Kevin Drinkle made it 4. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when the Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, Ibrox Park, it came alive when the bold Mark Walters, he made it 5. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When Billy McNeil went home that night, he said to his wife, the Celtic are shite. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, you got me singing the blues. You got me singing the blues.